So welcome to the Tangle of Oz, Organic Zendellas with me, Jackie Rose. Before we start, let's take a nice deep breath in and out, just to relax, get centered. In Zentangle, we relax, we let go, we draw slow. We're going to focus on being in the present moment. We release all expectations, appreciate what we create, and have fun. So I'm doing a demo video today of a Zendala, an OZ, organic Zendala. And what that means is we don't use measuring tools and we don't look for exact symmetric type shapes like a mandala might have, because it's Zentangle, Zendala. So we're going to make it organic and just kind of go free flow. So the first thing we're going to do, and I'm doing Gneissdala, but I'm doing Gneissdala3. I've got a couple of versions of this. So there is a step out for Gneissdala. Some might pronounce it Gneissdala, but I pronounce it Gneiss. And that's what's great about Zentangle. It doesn't matter. Anything goes. So lost my train of thought for a second. Okay, so what I did is I created a third version. The step out of the Gneissdala 2 is, and I say 2 because there's a Gneissdala that's kind of totally different on the recordings page. So I still like the name because we're using the pattern Gneiss, which is an original Zentangle pattern from headquarters. So speaking of quarters, actually, if you do have a quarter, go ahead and get one. This is a quarter that I'm going to trace. So what I did do is I did trace. I'm not using measuring tools, but this is how we can make it easier for us. I did trace a Zendala tile into my sketchbook. Or you can do this on a Zendala tile with me, or a sketchbook, or you don't even need the circular shape at all. And then I took a quarter, and it doesn't have to be a quarter, it could be anything round if you want to trace it. And I'm going to trace this quarter with my pencil. I did the Zendala with the pencil too. And sometimes I'll do a votive candle instead, but I want a lot of room today because we're going to have a lot of layers. So I think what I was saying was this is kind of an extension of Gneissdala 2, the step out that's on the Tangle of Oz website page. And then this video will be on that page too, hopefully. Okay, so now I've got my little circle. Again, it's not perfect, it's okay. With my pencil, I'm going to draw a dot on that circle, north and south, east and west. And I'm just eyeballing it. Doesn't have to be perfect. It just, this is organically, we are doing this to try to get, a balance, but it doesn't have to be a perfect balance. So we've got north, east, south, southwest. Or what you could do is 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So basically top, bottom, and the sides. And now we're going to eyeball the middle of each dot and put another dot there. So I'm going to eyeball the middle of each dot. So thinking maybe 2 o'clock, maybe 4 o'clock here, maybe 8 o'clock here, and 10 p.m. or 10 a.m., whatever, here. So just eyeballing it. And now we're going to put a little dot in the middle. And now I'm going to put down my pencil and pick up my 01. Again, you can use any pen you want. That's what I'm using. And I'm going to draw a slightly curved line. And they don't have to be curved, but I like a little curve to each dot from that center. So it almost looks like a clock. So the pattern Gneiss or Nice, and I mentioned that I think already, is an original Zentangle pattern from Zentangle headquarters, zentangle.com. And I've taken this pattern and put it into a organic Zendala, an Oz, I'm calling them. And you'll see how we do that. And so now we've got these lines, and now in between each line, we're going to kind of create a V. So we're going to take the end of this line, come up, the end of this line, come up, let them meet, So we kind of create that V shape, and then from that point, we draw a line to the center. And Zentangle is all about repetition, doing the same thing over and over. So we're going to repeat that in each section. So here we've got the next section. I'm going to just come up from the ends of those lines, have them meet, and then draw that line in the center. And I like to draw nice and slow and relax to get the Zentangle benefit out of it, which is the mindfulness, meditation benefits. When I draw slow, my mind starts to slow down, my body. So if you have high blood pressure, that can bring it right down. Breathing in and out. So there it is. That's the pattern nice or nice. So what we're going to do with this now is I'm going to trace over that pencil line from tip to tip. So I'm just going to draw this arc shape. I don't know, not even going to really worry about the pencil line. Just going to focus on drawing an arc shape from the two tips, 2 points, point to point. Connecting each point with an arced line. And as you can see, these went a little bit higher than these, and that's okay. That's what organic Xandella means. We are not doing this perfectly, symmetrically, etc. And it's going to give it character. It's all about being in the moment and appreciating what evolves. So I'm going to now aura. Do I want to aura? Yes, I'm going to aura each arc. So just tracing over each arc that we just did. Now, let's say you want to balance this out more. What we could do, since this is a little bit bigger, even it off and do an inside aura. So it kind of brings it back down. And then here I might do an outside aura. So you can kind of find your balance organically rather than worrying about measuring tools, just eyeballing it, drawing what feels good to you. This is a tough call here, but we'll just do that. Okay. And now we're going to kind of start the process all over again. Where, just looking at my notes here. Okay, so now remember we had the dot and we started and we drew out those lines from the center. And now we're going to do the same thing, although it's not coming from a center. Those lines are going to come from these indents here. So we're going to start, there's an indent. We're just going to draw a line, just about an inch or so. I don't know if that's an inch or 3/4 of an inch. It doesn't really matter. I'm just extending this line out, trying to do it around the same length, but they're all not going to be the same because I am not someone who does draw naturally, symmetrically. And that's okay. So we've got our lines just like we did here in the beginning. These are those lines. And now we're going to create those V's. So here are 2 sections right here. Or 1 section, but 2 lines from the ends. We make that V. And then we draw that line to the center and stop on that arc. So we're repeating what we did before. Extending this pattern nice. So you go all the way around. And guess what? Let's focus in a little bit better. We're going to do that now again. So now take that indent. We're just going to draw a line. So now we're starting that V shape. Same thing, doing the same thing. We're just adding another layer. And as always, if you have an idea to do something a little bit differently here than what I'm demonstrating, that's your inner artist coming through. Allow that inner artist to come through and do whatever you want. There is no wrong in Zentangle. Everything is right, whatever you want to do. So I think that's really kind of a very cool look. Now, that's how I originally had it with the 3 layers, 1, 2, 3, thus Nice 3 or Nice 3. But let's go, looks like we have some room. So I'm going to try another layer, and then I'm going to show you what I did previously to this with starting to tangle inside. It looks really cool. So I'm going to let's see what happens. We're going to try, I haven't done this before. This might be Gneissdala, Gneissdala 4. But it's still Gneissdala 3 because it's the different pattern than the other 2. Okay, so same thing, get those, maybe extend them a little bit, get that V in there. Now, if you're working on an opus tile or a bigger tile or bigger paper, and most of you know when I say tile, it's paper tiles. If you are, you might be able to keep going with this. Might be able to add more and more layers. Might be fun to try that on an opus. An opus tile is a 10.5-inch square paper tile. Now let's see what happens if I trim them out. So this is, I had traced the Zendelia. Remember, this is, oops, sorry, this is my Zendelia. You can get these from zentangle.com, but you don't need them. In the same size as a CD or DVD. If you wanted that size, you can trace that. And then there we have it. So now I'm going to show you what I did before. Now, so here is the 3 layers, and I started to tangle inside the little petals. I like to call them petals or sections. So you can see some ideas there on how to tangle in your Gneissdala. Now, this is something really cool too. This is a variation of the Gneissdala, Gneiss 3 Dala. And what I had done here is I started out organically. I don't even know if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think I have 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I only have 7 actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I only have 7 stems here because I didn't do the circle first and do the top and bottom dots. I just kind of just started those lines organically and however many came out. So that you could do. And then I started the extension. I didn't put the arc here. I just started the layers right away. And then what I did is I started, after I got to this layer, I started to, here I tried to go the opposite direction. I wanted to see what would happen. And then here it kind of got weird. So I stopped. Not weird, but I guess maybe I felt it was too big. I don't know. Anyways, this is what happened of experimenting with this pattern and then adding another layer in a different direction. And I love how this came out. So you can take a snapshot if you like that. Uh, I reverse, oh, these little notes. I reversed direction, outer layer, and ended up with a cool string. So I really like that a lot. All right, so that's it. And we'll go back to, oh, this is one that I had started to do a video on for you guys. And then I stopped and I said, I need to start over because, I don't know, something, it looks good though, doesn't it? I think it looks pretty good. So this one, oh, I know what I did is I added these rings here and I didn't want to add the rings, which I like it with the rings. So here I started the same way and I started organically here. This one I did not draw a circle so I wanted to start over and draw a circle so we could have those dots, top, bottom, side, middle, whatever. Then we've got these rings, which we did here. And then we said the second layer, same thing here. And then I started the third layer here right away, but here I added another arc layer, which is kind of cool. So you can add that if you want. Then I added my other layer and then another layer. So there you have it. Gneissdala3. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.